What's going on, y'all? It's Jared the Land Tech on the Land Legends podcast, giving you what you need in news and interviews. Welcome to the show, Mr. Marcus Rozier. Welcome to the show, sir.
No, I appreciate you having me, man. I appreciate you having me. How's everybody doing?
All right. Got people popping up right on here right now. But we'll get right into it. We have a little questions later. Hopefully, some people comment, ask a few questions. So today, I work with this young man right here. Um, we both work in IT, but we're really not talking about tech that much. But we'll get into it a little bit. But we're going to talk about stock trading 101, one of my new passions I've been doing since the COVID struck. But before we get into all that, can you give people a little bio about yourself?
Yeah, so my name is Marcus Rawson, military brat, Navy family, born out of Keflavik, Iceland, moved to the United States around elementary school. First day was Maine, moved around a little bit, but family's out in Virginia Beach now. I moved to New Orleans about 22. Been here just working in the IT sector, like my boy Jared said, and just kind of rebuilding, man, trying to get things together and build some more wealth.
All right, that's what's up. What's up? Thanks for coming on the show. So let's get right into it. Before we start getting about stock trading, can you talk about why you got into tech a little bit so people know your background, so you can go transition into stock? So tell people why you got into tech.
So I got into tech because so my family they were like radio men back in the day in the military. So you already know how that is. And so what they just bring home like broken tech stuff, right? And I know it's like my first used, hand me down halfway broken laptop. And my dad and stepdad they always like had dope video games and you install them. They had the little routers you could buy them, get to your little websites. I just kept messing around. So that was like a natural thing. Once I was getting through high school. I was not I wasn't a student, man. I didn't really pay attention. I was not a student. So I spent most of my time real world problem, like other stuff to deal with. I already was working and now doing other stuff. So school was low totem pole. But yeah, so I was getting low grades. I had to get some like math credit, science credit. And then I went to some tech school called Advanced Technology Center. And ended up getting in, took some computer classes, got my first certifications back down, and then high school, like Server Plus, Network Plus, CompTIA, stuff like that, Security Plus. Got a cool interview, and then kind of took off from there, contracting. Yeah.
All right, that's what's up. That's what's up. All right. So, since you was a tech guy and you had technology running in your family, what led you into trading stocks? That's like the hottest thing right now. People trading stocks on your phone, stuff like that. So, why you got into it?
It's definitely the hottest thing right now, right? Everywhere, every article is like couple options, you make your quick millions, right? I swear it's not that easy at all. But what got me into it, honestly, man, I went broke a couple times, like 18, 19, and again around like 21, 22. And it was just like, hard reality. You just had to, you learn that you can't rely on a job. I got to the point where I realized like, doesn't really matter like how many times you kind of lose everything as long as you know what you can always like build it back. So I realized like, all right, so real it's not like knowledge really is kind of power. So now I was like, when I was broke, I was like, how do you for one not go broke again? It's like how do you fix your credit score? Like how do you get rid of debt collectors? How do you repair your credit? How do you, et cetera, et cetera, kind of go in a rabbit hole. And things kept like coming back saying like, oh, invest in this and doing this. And I was like, stock market this. And in the beginning, I thought you had to have a lot of money to get in the stock market, but things changed, apps came out, fractional investing, etc. So it turns out I was like, you know what? You even only have like $5 a month. I was like, let me figure out what I can turn $5 to like $5.05, and that kind of got me really into investing.
Okay. So, what platforms or what technology do you use to help you trade or make your decisions on the stocks you pick? Because that's usually the main questions I get. How do I find the stocks to go get? When the entry point, when to get into a stock, when to get out of stock. So before we go on too fast. So what was your plan when you first started trading?
So initially, since I had, like I said, low funds, it was like if you only had $120 a year, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
your money. So it was strictly like dividends, safest things. I was like, I just wanted some type of return. I didn't care When
Can you
it
explain
really
what a
was,
dividend is? Because some people don't know
it was a compounded interest because like savings accounts, even now, even when we were young, we were taught the whole piggy bank savings. Like your savings accounts always give you extra money. But like people, like you ask people, like, what's your interest rate in a savings account? And they'd be like, you know what? I don't know. And then when they look it up, it'd be like 0.7, a 0.3, and you're just like, hold on. Like, you know, I personally, I had a Navy Federal, and it was like, you know, it was like a 0.8. And I was like, hold on. You know, I know I can invest in something better than this and get a better return, like quarterly, and then this yearly return that I'm getting with you guys. You know what I mean? So I was just like, no, there's just better ways. And that's when I had to start really Googling and really researching and like, you know, like that's when you look into like I went to like dividends.com. It was like the first website I used freely, and I did eventually spend a little bit of money to really get the calculators and I could really figure out within my budget like which stocks to spend like $20 here to make this kind of money this month for dividend dates, and then I would move that money to another company whose dividend date was coming up next month, and you would just kind of compound your money that way for a little while. Stuff like that. It's like a lot of strategy. But I would say dividends.com was the first real thing I ever used personally. Like I was literally at my job when I first got here at my doc job online, like dividends.com, and I spent hours down their website.
All right. So you did a little bit of dividends, which is good. Everybody should get stock that pays them dividends. They even have methods where you can get paid monthly if you have enough shares to do that. So what made you go into the next level of dividends and trading straight stock?
For me, after I went to the dividends, I started getting into like I got comfortable. It was like a couple hundred, which I thought again back at the time you thought, you know, when you're young, 20 think it's a lot of money. I was like, let me get into like what people talk about, like these growth stocks, you know, these stocks that are up and coming. So back in the day, so that was 2015, I think 2016 at the time. I was looking at stocks like AMD, Uber, Snapchat, which was the worst thing I ever put money in. I did their IPO, and then I would say those were like the three main things. And I did a bunch of like BlackRock Capital, Glad funds, like things that just give good returns with dividends. But it was really those three that I was really looking into growth. And out of those three, I would say AMD was the best one I've ever did back in the day. But I was like really like searching for growth stocks. I think that's the best way because they're kind of cheap and it's really for long term. If you're already doing dividends, you already don't care about short term returns. So if you're doing growth stocks, it's more about like the 5 to 10 years I was going to look down the line. And it also teaches you long term, like how to look into a business, look at their board, look at their their finance sheets and money sheets, stuff like that. Like gives you really good, it's good training and it's easy and it's not a lot of risk.
Okay, all right. So you've been trading since 2015.
Yeah.
All right. You got way more experience than I do.
Well, that's because there's a lot of reading, right? And honestly, a lot of experiments. Like honestly, my first few years, I would say I lost a lot more money than I probably threw in just because I'm more of a man that are bootstrap, right? So I'm more of I just do it. I'll do it, figure it out. If I lose it, it's like, you lost it. You just got to figure out why did I lose it, right? So don't do it again and move forward. I'm pretty adaptable or grow, so it's not too bad. And I know it's not for everybody. I wouldn't recommend. No, that is you're going to lose money. They call it the market tuition. If you know all the people go to college, got these $100,000 degrees. Same thing when you play in the stock market. You're going to spend the money to learn. You got to play the game. That's a fact.
Right, because I know a lot of people always ask me, how can I trade? How can I practice trading? I tell them about using a TD Ameritrade, Thinkorswim, paper trading.
Paper trading, the cash, the free stuff. I agree, it works. It is. Even when I was in the high school, my teacher, Miss Lavender, again, ATC. First thing she got back when Mint.com. I don't know if they still have it, but they also had like a little cash trading, like real time kind of copy the market in. That was like our thing every day in the market. She made us do it.
Okay, all right. So then you did dividend stock. Then you started doing trading growth stock.
Yeah.
So what's the next thing you got into?
So next thing after I got into which this was a bad move. I tried to get into swing trading, which this is when you learn difficulty of a day trade is when it's like if you don't have that 25,000, you are limited on these platforms. So the platforms I trade on
can you explain about the 25,000? Because a lot of people trade who don't know about the 25,000 limit you got to have. Can you elaborate on that?
So a lot of people don't have. Well, you need to have, it's a required to be considered an actual day trade at 25,000 gross in your brokerage account. And I mean, you might not have it in the morning, but you need to have it at the end of the day if you want to consider having multiple trades. You are limited. I know Webull and Robinhood's what 3, technically it's 5 and 5
Yes.
business days, but they
yeah, 3 days.
so they kind of give you a cap off. But in Webull, same thing. They're actually very transparent. They put it right there in the market. Let you. Robinhood's kind of you got to go through the options to see it. But I would say if you don't have that 25,000, I would recommend not swing trading. Honestly, I would recommend doing the long term, just mutual funds, ETFs, dividends. I would not. I wouldn't tell somebody to use margin because I don't think that's a smart thing to do.
Right. Can you explain what margin is?
Margin is borrowed money, honestly, in the simplest terms. The brokerages that you are using money with, they tend to give you margin based on how much money you have in your bank account. Most brokers have a different ratio or algorithm, how they depend on how much margin you get. But it's basically how much money you have and how successful you are at trading and how much money you tend to make the broker in the middle. But yeah, it's basically just leverage money. Some brokers charge you a monthly percentage based on how much you use. So Robinhood, I know they charge you 3%. It's not that high, depending on how much you borrow. I know I say don't trade a margin. I have traded with margin. I do trade a margin about 50% of the time, honestly. So it's risky until you actually know what you're doing, I think. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend anybody just starting out though. Don't trade a margin.
Do you trade on cash accounts? Because that's another way you can do day trading on cash account.
So at the moment, no, I don't.
Okay, yeah. So
I've been straight live. Everything is real right there.
Okay, so what I do is, because I found out about a few months later after I was been trading on my own. Then I joined a couple of stock groups, trading groups, and so what you could do is all these brokers, when you first sign up, they don't tell you nothing about it, right? So you can sign up and get a cash account. So whatever, let's say you open up a regular Webull, Robinhood account or whatever. You start off as a margin account, but then you have an option to switch it to cash account. So when you switch it to cash, whatever cash you got in there, that's all you could trade. But you can do unlimited trades. But the catch is, let's say you make a trade for $20, and you profit $10. So you got $30 total. Once you sell any type of stock option or stock trade, you can't use that money for another 24 hours. That's the only down because you can't use it to the next business.
They gotta validate it, yeah, and make
they gotta validate it. So they hold it for a day. So once you, even though you can do unlimited day trades, once you use all your money, that's it.
Yeah.
So that's why I say cash accounts are pretty good for people who just starting off.
Yeah, I can see why. Yeah, actually, that's actually I like it. Yeah, that works.
Yeah, but you can't. The only thing is, you can't use margin.
The Robinhood, they're kind of sneaky. They just you use it without even knowing you're using it. So
right, I didn't know I was using it either. I didn't know that either.
Yeah. And with Webull, at least you have to enable it, and like you can't just start using it. And that's a cool. I respect them for that.
All right. Well, let's talk about the platforms. Well, let's talk about the technology that you use. What tools do you use to help you trade?
So you did mention before initially. So man, that's a whole story about how I got down to there. So initially, first platform was Robinhood. I used everything was a Robinhood, stock tweets, and Seeking Alpha. I used to spend hours reading Seeking Alpha articles and just analysis paperwork and anything people would write up articles. It was just hours on that. But really, between stock tweets, Seeking Alpha, that evolved over time. So I got into Webull a little bit. I like Webull for day trading and swing trading because you can set your stop losses a lot easier to pretty much make it automatic, all in one motion. And then Yahoo Finance, I use that because I track volume and contracts per trades because I do options. So I track to see how many contracts or at whatever price rate I'm looking at. And then from there, I got deep to YouTube. So I follow people like Financial Education, Graham Steph from True Trading Group. I know you mentioned you joined a group. I also joined a group myself, and things like that. Just any cool online free information I can grab out there.
All right, cool. So, all right. So let's talk about your trading style. Everybody was asking you a question. So, what's your trading style? What's your
That's
trading habits? Do you have a trading style?
I think now I was in the beginning, I didn't, right? Like I just started following like anybody else did, right? And then now I'm kind of like halfway doing my own thing. And I like patterns. That's natural. Like everybody does ask you, what's your trading style? And it's just like, man, I think one it evolves as you get older, right? Because some people are aggressive, some people are like, it just depends, everybody's different. Like right now, I'm highly aggressive. I'm going after patterns and I'm doing like 52-week highs and lows. That's what I'm basing my price targets off of. And I mean, that's it. I'm just going off if I know it's bouncing, if it goes up, I know every 10 cents every day and it goes down another 7 cents. That's what I'm following. The second there's something different, I'll give it a little bit, I hold out, see what happens. And I know no one else that means when I say I give it a little bit. When I say I mean I give it a little bit, I mean that I have a risk tolerance. If it goes below my risk tolerance, I have to make a choice. If say my risk tolerance is $100 for that trade and hits $110, like, all right, can I take this $110 negative loss right now? And that's after now. It depends on everybody else. Can you, I don't know what everybody else does, but can you take that $110 if it happens? And you got to make that choice. If you accept that, I tend to hold out. Right now, I'm learning to teach myself to learn patience because I have missed out on money because I did get to my risk tolerance. I wanted to stop out, and I did stop out. And then you would look back 5 minutes later, and I was just like, two things: I should have had more patience, and also I would stop out of a contract trade weeks or more than a week prior to my expiration date, which in turn, I'm just like, I need to learn patience. You lose all the money, like no scary money makes money kind of thing. So for me,
Right.
that's what
I learned it a couple times myself. Once you first start trading and you put money in, and then you see your stock or stock option going down the toilet,
yeah,
and then you don't realize that like in the morning bell, a lot of transactions happen, and like
happens after hours, man.
a lot of people, a lot of
Yeah.
people sell off in the morning from the previous day. So most of the time, stock usually go down, and I didn't know that. And so I got out of I think it was Tesla. I think I was in Tesla. Yeah, so I got in Tesla the night before, and I was looking pretty good. And then I realized at the opening bell, it started dropping. Like, oh my god! And so I got out of it because I have like when I'm dealing with Tesla, I got like a 15% loss. Like I don't play with the Tesla. Tesla's volatile. And so I got out of it. Man, if I'd have stayed in it the rest of the day, I probably would have made a few $1,000s.
Yeah, because it probably climbed slowly all the way back up, right?
Yeah, it climbed slowly all the way back up.
Yeah.
So that's why you have patience.
Done that myself.
All right. So what platforms do you recommend for somebody who's just starting out who has no trading experience?
No trading experience? Honestly, I'd probably go to Webull over Robinhood, probably personally.
Okay.
Just starting out because they're just the easiest, fundamental, the safest way to go. They're not going to even let you honestly lose your money. It's hard. They really make it difficult. You can set up your risk. You can set up your loss. You can do your stop losses. They give you your charts, estimates. They explain to you like all the crap from MACD to volume control. I don't think it's really the best place to start, honestly.
Okay. All right. I disagree with you a little bit.
They just added crypto, man. They just added crypto, and they have a desktop client.
Right. Well, I think Webull is a better platform than Robinhood, but I think Robinhood was easier for me to understand quickly than using Webull. Because when I started using Robinhood first, and then I tried to go to Webull, and I had to I had to read all the. I wasn't used to all the indicators being on the mobile device. So
yeah, I agree. Yeah, but that's why I learned to appreciate Webull because I was like, at first it was information overload, but that's because I realized because of my trading ignorance. Then I realized what Webull can offer. Webull, I can set stop loss, I can set indicators all on my phone, and it's just like I continue doing my main job, whatever I need to do, and it's just letting me, hey, still hit 1565. Like, oh, it did. Thank you, Webull. Go ahead.
Can you explain what a stop loss is?
So basically, when we were talking about stop loss earlier and stopping out, and I was talking about how we were losing money by not being patient. So basically, a stop loss is the price in which when a stock starts to drop So, for example, if I was buying steel at 750, I would set my stop loss at like 675. If it dropped exactly at 675 at any reason, it would automatically sell off. So you would still lose money, but you wouldn't lose as much if you weren't if you weren't paying attention. The whole point, honestly, of stop losses is you don't have to pay attention. If you set your price targets correctly, you set your stop losses, you just can continue out your day. It's kind of like automatic day trading in a sense.
Right, right. And what's the other one called? The one you could
Oh, you talking limit buys when it
yeah,
goes up?
limit buys, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't use limit buys on Robinhood.
Really?
I've never done it because I understand the idea, but I trade on patterns. It works if you're trading on momentum because it makes sense. Because you're like, okay, I know this stock's going to bounce up here, and I guess it kind of senses I am kind of doing the same thing on a pattern, but it doesn't. I just haven't felt comfortable enough to do it. I don't see where it fits my style of trading. So I actually thought about it a couple of days ago. I was like, man, I never do the limit orders, and I just never do it.
Right.
I never had to.
People know what limit orders are. Limit orders are if you want to buy a certain stock or stock option once they hit a certain price that you target. So let's say Apple hit let's say it went down to $95 and that was your target, you would trigger an option to buy it or stock trade to buy it at that price of $95, and then you own that stock or stock option. Right. So all right. So Webull, Robinhood, do you use anything else? Any other platforms or brokers?
No, not at the moment. Well, okay. I mean, I do have a Charles Schwab account. That is for like OTC stocks and like penny stocks. Specifically,
Okay.
that's for the cannabis sector, though.
Okay. All right. Can you explain what some people don't even know what's a penny stock?
That's literally what stock anything, technically anything under about $5. I want to say is technically considered a penny stock.
I think so.
Pretty sure. Yeah.
I think it's for under $5.
Yeah,
I think so.
$5. Yeah, I know some people are like, oh, it has to be a penny, but no, technically, I think it's technically anything under $5. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, are there particular sectors or industries that you like to trade in?
So currently, since COVID, man, in the beginning, I was trading the most volatile, man. I was messing with the SPY.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was with the SPY, man. So I was messing with the SPY. I'll tell you why I stopped. There's a whole story. So I was playing with the SPY up until around 19, and then, man, what was it? The middle of September. Are you in the market around September towards like the 15th around there?
Yeah.
So you remember there was a sell-off like Wednesday? Remember Wednesday it was extremely high, and then Wednesday night there was that huge sell-off, and then Thursday the market just was like, no, we're not playing anymore. We're going down. So Wednesday I was feeling good. I was playing SPY, and I was working around 12 at lunchtime. I looked at my account, and I was up. I was like, oh, we hit 17,000. I was feeling it was the first time. That was a lot of money to me. I was like, oh man, we making money. Like I've never seen something like that. So I was excited. And so I think something happened with my job. We had like an outage or something. So I had to put my phone down to continue my main job. And then that's just why I remember my phone buzzing. I remember the chat group talking. And then I was just so excited. So I was like, yeah, my day's over. I'm making money. I'm doing good. So I went ahead, got me a bottle, started chilling, started relaxing. And then it was like 6 o'clock. I just looked back at my phone. And like you said, after hours, and I was like, wait, what happened to all this money? And it was like negative like 700. And I was like, what's going on? So then I got back to my phone and the whole chat was like, sell off. Again, I didn't at this time I didn't know what a sell off was. I was like, sell off. I was like, is this like certain sectors, certain companies? And like the whole market, like anybody who just had anything selling off. I was like, oh, it's a market-wide sell-off. And so Thursday hit again, an experience though. Never do this again. I'm thinking, ride it out. I'll eat loss. It's already bad. This is already horrible. We'll see what happens today. 700, negative 900, negative 1,000, negative 2,000. I swear, by like 2 o'clock, it goes negative 3,000. And I'm just like, why can't now? So at this point, this is when I learned how hard it is to get an order filled, especially on Robinhood when people are panicking. So now at this point, it's like 2:45. I'm going to try to sell out of everything. I was in the SPY. I was in YOLO. Lulu company, the women's legging, luxury expensive legging company. I was with them. I was with Peloton. I had like some calls. Everything was just done, man. everything was just over. I was losing money, man.
Right.
Thursday night, I couldn't get out any trade. It was negative. My account went all the way down to like $3,000. I owed Robinhood like $1,200. It was just, I was done, man. I had to make a choice. Either I wasn't going to log back into Robinhood ever again.
Okay.
Or I was like, I need to just spend some money and get into education and just like, I was like, if I can trade myself, because I was like under $12,000, if I can trade myself out of $12,000, get the margin, get my account back in good standing, I was like, I'll keep trading. So then I just ended up doing that, Monday.
Okay.
So it took me like about 3 months to get out all the whole. I took profit actually the first time yesterday. Finally, like I made like $2,300. So I'm through $1,000. I put it towards my Best Buy credit card.
Exactly. Like
I'm paying down this credit card debt. But yeah, so the first time I finally out, so now like every day, as long as I continue making money, I'm about to take I'll take half my profits, throw them on a credit card, and just keep rolling the debt down slowly and slowly.
Okay. A lot of people don't realize that white hitters from other traders have been trading for like decades and said this is the worst the market they ever seen. And so me learning during this time has been very challenging. I have gained and lost a lot of money.
Yeah.
Learning how to trade, especially during this market. Just like you, I was surprised about that sell-off. They say that that's usually the usual time when the market is crapping.
That's what happened too. I was like, this is usual? I was like, this is my first time. No one told me.
Yeah.
I didn't get an email. Yeah. No one told me Wednesday morning, hey, maybe you sell out.
But they don't never have. They say they never have. They don't know when it's going to start, but it always happens in September and October. And they say that's usually the worst months to trade, is September and October. They call it a correction.
Yeah, and it was. That's what it was. It was a major correction. That's exactly what that correction. Was. Man, that was a.
Yeah, I was upset. I was just like you when I know what day you're talking about because I was in Apple and I was up a few grand and I was happy.
$1,000. Like it was crazy. Like I understand why it corrected. Things were wild.
Right, and I think that was that's when the market went on like a huge run for like several weeks.
Everything was going through.
Everything was going up.
It was 1,000. Tesla was hitting like 800, 890. It was It was unheard of numbers.
Right. And I was enjoying all of it. And then it's like you. And this is the number one thing you're gonna hear when people talk about when you trade stocks or in the stock market or whatever. They always say don't get greedy. And I got bit that day being greedy. You know what I'm saying? Because I had 3 stock option plays on Apple, and I was profiting all of them. So I sold all of them, and then I doubled down and got back in. The day before that happened, I lost all that profit. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you learn.
So. Right, but that's how you learn. Like that's the only way you're gonna learn is when you make from your huge losses. But I forgot my next question because I'm still mad about that. So let's talk about when you're doing stock options. What are the differences between a call and a put? So let's talk about call first.
I guess to make it simple, so put for me, how I made it simple for myself. So puts when you think it starts going down, and a calls when you think it starts going up. Simple. That's the simplest way I explain it to myself. And then there's one other thing technically you can do. You can do spreads, but you kind of have to level up in Robinhood to do that. But you can spread, which is a lot safer actually, and I think it's better. It takes a little more.
I've never done a spread yet. That's when you do a call and a put on the same.
Yeah. So you can balance out your risk on both sides.
So when you do that, when you do a spread, it's 2 different options, right?
Mm-hmm.
But can you sell one, or you have to sell both of them at the same time? How does it work?
So one or the other, because I've actually so it wouldn't let me buy them both at the same time, but I would buy like so. Still, if I know it's going down a couple of times, I did buy a call and I did buy a put, and like it did actually separate it on the screen actually as a separate contract for both of them. So I was like, okay, it was pretty cool.
Okay, so you can for a spread you can set it, you can buy them together, but you can't. Once you buy them together, you can't sell them.
Well, I mean, I sold both of mine separately. I ended up making money both ways. I did because it was going up and down. So I did end up making money both ways. And then what also weird is you can technically you can be your own broker because like you can, I guess technically a broker is like Robin's like the middleman, right? Because there are other people out there, so you can like you can put out calls or puts that technically aren't really it can get filled. It can get filled sometimes,
Okay.
and I've had it happen to me randomly, man. I'm about to say because it's happened. I've been like, why? How does it get filled? Because you play with the bid and the ask, which is the margin in between, whatever few cents it is. And I mean, I do play with it sometimes because you can get a little cheap, those few cents, and especially when you do options, every cent, depending on what if you're trading, at least I do a tier system. Most people say a tier system you buy 100 contracts. I can't afford that. My personal version of 10 contracts. Each contract's 100 shares, so I do 1,000. So basically, but it's about every cent's about 100, or every cent's about $10 or $100 movement based on what you're buying, and that's how I do the math. So every cent counts to me.
Okay, I got you. So you sold contract before, like you sold a contract before, like a call up contract. So how does that work? Like I never done that. I always either bought or sold, but I never created my own contract.
So when you do it yourself, Robinhood will credit you. Actually, it's weird because it's like a broker. Yeah, Robinhood will credit you, and instead of knowing, depending on how it went, but they'll give you actually more money for it. They'll buy it back from you at a higher price, or they'll credit you. It literally says credit. They'll credit you at a higher price.
So that money doesn't go to your account?
It's a credit. It says credit. That's why I keep saying credit. It says credit.
So let's say you sell a contract.
You can trade with it on their platform, but you can't it's not a part of withdrawable cash. You know what I mean?
I got you. But so I could if I get $100 credit, I could use that toward a $100 purchase.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, I got you. But I can't transfer it to like E-Trade or something like that.
Yeah. No. Gotcha. That's why it's like, is it worth doing all the trouble to be a middleman for them when they already are the middleman? And I don't think it is personally. But a lot of people, I know a guy who trades on YouTube. His name is, off the top of my head, Dividends Investor, I think. I want to say that's his name. And he does Boeing. That's his stock. And he does it. He's the broker for Boeing. He makes money off buys and sells, and he's his own buyer and seller. That dude's about it.
Okay.
He knows Boeing in and out.
All right. So you said that you started investing yourself in the training for stock. What platform did you? What websites or applications did you use to help yourself train to be a better trader?
Honestly, I would say it was the best one, or what really got me. Man. I guess it was one of those Cash App, not a Cash App account, but it was one of those digital fake money accounts, honestly. Like on Mint or something like that, where you just kind of simulated the market, but it wasn't real money. I would say probably one of those, probably like the first best thing that ever did anything for me.
You talking about Mint? You talking about Mint?
Yeah, Mint back. I don't know if they still have it. Like where you can make a little fake account and trade. But I think that was a real thing. Other than that, honestly, you just have to put yourself out there, man. You really have to just do it. That's how I learned. So that's what I really did.
All right. What are somebody who wants to trade stock? What are the do's and don'ts when you're trading in the stock market?
I would say for the don'ts. We went through a lot of don'ts.
Yeah.
Don't trade without knowing your risk. FOMO, fear of missing out. Don't be afraid that you've missed out on a trade. Everybody falls for it. I fall for it. You might see your friends in the group talking about, I just made 1,000, 2,000, these 5 figures, 6 figure days. Hey, we're not there. We all have our own budgets. We all have our own path to get there. We'll get there eventually. You know what I mean? Stay in financial lane.
Exactly. I agree.
So, I would say, man, don't be scared of missing out, man. Don't be trying to copy people, man. If you made $20 today, be happy you made $20. Don't be afraid of losing money. Don't play with money you need. If you gotta pay rent, if you got kids on the way, whatever you got, getting married, do not play with money. You're gonna be like, man, I'm gonna need to withdraw this a month from now. If you need this money a month from now, that's not the money you need to be using right now. I'm just saying, bro. That's real. People need to come with expectations.
Right. I agree with that statement, especially because of social media, because they got a lot of people who always post their profits.
They do. They don't explain them. They don't even show the negative. They didn't even show what they put in initially to make the profits.
Exactly.
Show that. People
some people
show numbers.
Right. Like some people might put in 5,000, like put in $10,000 and they're making a $2,000 profit. They don't never show that. Or I even saw one thing that was misleading because somebody texted me about it. They said that they made I forgot how many, like maybe $4,000 or $5,000 off of Tesla, and in the caption they put it only cost me $34.99, but it was actually it was an option. So actually,
option. So he paid that per share.
Per share, yeah. A lot of people don't realize when you we could teach it. Well, you explain what a whole stock option is actually.
Well, yeah. So technically, when you buy options, you're so you're buying the shares in bulk. Like I said earlier, so like one contract is technically 100 shares, but since you're buying it in bulk, you can buy it at a cents. It's like if you're going to a whole, I don't know, bulk shopping. What's that bulk store? Like Costco or something. It's basically the same thing. So yeah, you get them on a cents, and I don't think people understand that. Actually, now that you mentioned that, I don't think people understand that, and that's scary because. Usually people think they have enough money, and that's when Robinhood gets a lot of people because you don't. You're trading in margin at this point, probably.
Right.
They don't even tell you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I always tell people start off small, start off like small amounts. I actually started doing paper trading. I recommend doing that.
Paper trading.
So you can learn the platform that you're trading on because every platform is different. Like TD Ameritrade, Thinkorswim is pretty good. Robinhood, Webull, E-Trade. There are other ones. I think they got Interactive Brokers. Chase Bank has some, Fidelity. So yeah. So they got a bunch of software that you can use to trade. They all a little bit different, but start small. Don't try to go big. Well, anyway, let's continue with. You got any more don'ts?
Shoot, what's the last? Would be a good last don't, man. Don't ever invest in a business or a company that you don't know anything about. Period. I'll say that's probably a good last one.
Why is that? That's a good one, but why is explain that? Yeah, that's a good one. That's one of the top ones right there.
Oh, the perfect example of why we don't invest in companies we don't know anything about. Recently, I don't know if you tracked it yourself, but you saw that the Nikola and GMC partnership is no longer a thing. When you got talking about how they got their drivetrain running, and technically they just pushed a truck down a hill and took a picture and video of it running down a hill and got investors excited, talking about where the future hydrogen plants. I'm just for the United States, no doubt. That right there is the reason why you should do your research.
Right, and I was one of those people who jumped on when Nikola was popping.
Dude, how much did you get in for? You know the private investors got it for $10 a share.
Really?
Yes. You didn't know. I got it for $20.23 for 5 shares. I ended up buying a security bond before they went public, which I had to go on YouTube and realize what a security bond was, and I can't explain that, man. I'm not that comfortable.
You said it's called a security bond?
Yeah. So this is a whole dude. There's a whole. I can talk this off. Like I don't know it fully to really get deep into that. It's a whole. Okay. I didn't know something even existed.
Because I be hearing people saying they call stocks. I be hearing people call stock securities. I be like, why the hell they call?
Yes, because that's what I bought into. Because the stock at the time was like 33 something, and I was like, I'm not buying into that. There's no way it's worth $33. Maybe 20, maybe 15. I knew everybody bought it at $10. I was like, can I get in around $20 maybe? And then so I was following this guy on YouTube named Meet Kevin, and he posted a video about the Nikola security, and he posted the symbol. You couldn't get it on a normal like Robinhood or Webull. You had to get it on one of the old school brokerages because they had every symbol. So I went to my Fidelity account, and I found it on there. I called them up and bought it.
Okay.
Yeah, so I did save a little money, and then so basically what happened was it has maturity dates, and based on the maturity dates, you can sell back and get a return value, or you can get your shares.
Okay, and you just got shares.
So it was worth it. It was worth it. I wish now I would have sold, of course, sooner and just took the money. But
right.
But
yeah, I think I only had like maybe 5 or 10 shares of Nikola. I think I bought it like around 20 something. And then once that news came out with GM, I got rid of it. I even put a put on it.
Yeah,
I put a put on it.
Before, we had $20 puts, man. Everybody made money. I don't know what they're at right now.
Right. what was crazy, I sold my put too early because for some reason people started buying in, talking about, oh, this is bad publicity, bad advertisement. The stock started going back up, so I sold it. But if I stayed in it, I would have made way more money. But anyway,
I told you to hold that, bro.
Right.
People held up to the next day. We're still making money.
Right. So that's just so tell them what's some of the do's that you do when they're doing beginning stock trading.
Get educated, first of all, honestly. Secondly, I would say if you don't want to spend the money to join a big group that already has like training that you can watch that's proven, I would say, man, find a local group. If you can't find a local group, gather like-minded people and start with your friends and family. I personally even started my own group. There's a bunch of black guys I know around, and we get together. Some of them code, webmasters, etc. We're trying to do our own thing and educate ourselves and just stay motivated. I think that's another thing. A dude was gonna stay motivated. Trading, just stock market in general, it's draining mentally. It's wearing, it's stressful. And it definitely will impact your social life. If you got a significant other, you better let her know ahead of time. If you don't got a significant other, you're here in the streets today doing whatever you're doing, or if you're golly, whatever, I would say keep your emotions in check because it will slip. It will slip. You're going to have good days and bad. And on them bad days, you can need that support, baby. You're going to need it. And you better be healthy type of support. Hit the gym, read a book, meditate. I don't care if you're just outside getting some sun. I'm telling you, personal experience. Don't be doing anything that your grandma wouldn't have found approved. Trust me on that.
Yeah, I respect your mind on that. Don't get learning how to trade stock is very draining. Draining.
Great.
Like it would. I mean, they got so many ways to make money off the stock market. It's ridiculous. Like we just scratching the surface, and when we just talk about regular stocks, stock options. Yeah. We didn't even talk about futures. We didn't talk. We really didn't get. We could talk about ETFs.
A little bit. We got REITs too. That's a whole nother thing. There's a lot.
Yeah. Like it got so many ways to make money.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any other recommendation for dudes?
Get educated, take mental health care. Shoot, man. Those are probably the most important ones. I think honestly, once you can handle those, like time management, because it is scheduled. That's true. It's not all the time. To certain people it is. I ain't gonna say it's not. Let's be real. To certain people it is, but to the average individual, we have limited time when we can trade and have opportunities to make some money. Even the information we get based on if you pay for it or not, the speed alone. Like if you're not a fan of I would say Bazinga Pro, good resource. If you don't want to pay for it, pay for it. It'll make its return yearly.
What was the name of that? What was the name of that?
Bazinga Pro.
Oh, Bazinga. Okay, I got you.
I'm sure you've seen the.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah,
I would do it. It's worth it, man. It's so fast. It's just I never realized how speed matters. Then the faster you get the news article, the faster you can read it. I mean, again, if you're not trading that stock or something, it's not relevant. But if you're even in the sector, it's big enough news, depending on what you're playing. Like EV sector right now has all been going down. Even NIO is going down. So,
well, I'm glad you bought it. I was just about to ask you about the EV.
I invested in NIO 4 years ago. NIO was one of my original growth stocks. I'm already at 100% return. I'm sure, like pretty close. Like NIO are cool.
Right. Well, for people who don't know what EV stands for, it stands for electrical vehicle. China has a lot of EV companies. I think the United States, we only have Tesla. I think it's the only company.
So Lucid, as of this was yesterday's news, finished their factory.
Really?
You can pull it up. I mean, you can pull it real quick. They did. I saw it yesterday.
Okay.
That's yesterday. Okay. Pretty fresh news. I don't think the market react. I mean, they're not in the public right now, and they're also heavily Chinese invested owned. I'm pretty sure. So that's also like a thing.
All right.
Lucid is definitely going to be the number 2, and then you still got Rivian with their electric truck, and they are still scheduled for production.
Okay. Well, you got those 3 out there as American. But the companies he primarily talking about, NIO. What's the other one? Lila.
I was about to say there's like 3. There's
Lila and
like a CH or something. I never heard of them until recently.
XPEV, XPEV. I know it's the 3 Chinese ones I follow. XP stock ticker is XPEV, then Lila, I think it's LIL or something like that. And then you got the NIO, which you was talking about. But I'm glad you brought those up. Well, there's this new our current administration,
dude. I knew you were gonna bring that up.
trying to ban Chinese stocks being sold on the United States Stock Exchange.
Don't they have to meet some standard or something? Or
well, I don't know. I don't know all the ins and outs, but I know the House is voting on it.
Yeah.
So what is your strategy in certain, like, this is a good scenario. So let's just say hypothetically the House or the Senate, whoever got the final say, so votes and said that we can't trade any Chinese stock anymore. Mm-hmm. What would be the first thing you do?
So like the fears of that like started technically yesterday, kinda, because EV's they've been dropping slowly because of that.
They've been dropping.
Recently.
Yeah.
Honestly, the first thing you have to do is calm yourself. If you're in the sector, right? Don't freak out. Second thing you're gonna have to do is really get educated on what's actually happening. So I actually hasn't fully looked into it. Maybe I should, but I'm not too worried. I'm honestly don't see NIL going anywhere, but off the market now. But last time I checked, I'm pretty sure it's because they just want Chinese companies to meet a United States security standard. And I think that really just comes down to patents technology. China hasn't been the best with patents and infringements and stuff like that, thievery. So I really think it's coming down to that. I don't see NIL coming out, but in the best strategy, I mean, guess what people say? You sell it before it drops out and move to another sector. People say use to the upcoming sector because there's always a sector that kind of flip-flops. I don't see crude oil going up because the Chinese EV sector might fall off, personally. Not long-term. Not me. I don't. I'm waiting. I wait it out. Honestly, I get educated, wait it out, but based on what I heard, I don't think it's going to happen, honestly. I'm not too...
Right. I'm with you. I seriously doubt that they me personally, I don't think they got enough time through the process, because by the time they officially really vote on it, the new administration is going to be in.
That's also
in my opinion. So, but that's good. I mean, I got all of my EV positions, so I'm good anyway.
Yeah. No, like I said, I'm too. For me to sell out, because I want to double check. So I know I lied. I'm up over 800% on NIL. But again, I put money in NIL at $4.36. Like I first bought in years ago. So
right.
For me to sell out now, I mean, I guess I can sell out. I don't know. I'm not too worried.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it now.
Yeah, like I'm in a different position than most people. Like I'm not selling. I'm way too. I'm not selling that matter.
Okay. All right. So this is a lot of things I always hear about debate when it comes to stock. People always say limit your trades. Don't do a lot of stock option trades. Focus more on long-term investments. Investing in stock and then investing in growth stocks and dividend stocks. Yeah. What do you think? I guess I'll ask you, what is your best method? Do you like the trick? You just need like to buy long term, or you do a mixture of both, or you do one more than the other? Trade stock options or do more long term investment? What's more of your cup of tea?
So as I said before, like how I started doing the trading. For me, it was 100% based on how I was living my life and my goals at that time. 100% based on financially what I had to do, what I wanted to accomplish, and what I could physically do at the time, and just knew intellectually. So right now, what I do, I'm 100% doing nothing. The only thing I'm doing are contracts. The only thing I'm doing are options. I'm not investing any more money into dividends or growths. I did more than enough of that early on. Personally, at this point, when like 2015 I started, right? So at this point, I have enough money invested where I could technically sell out of like 65% of my holdings and be like debt free. And since I know I'm already at that point, and I'm at 29, I might as well. I figured why not start doing options? I don't really have anything to lose technically. So right now, personally, I'm doing options, going up pretty hard. I pretty much use about 60 to 70% of my, I guess you could say, my fund money, my brokerage account on options. It's rare. I might buy a growth stock if I really. So I did buy one. It's called Planet 14. It's another cannabis stock out there in Arizona getting some ground. I bought into them when they were like $1.25 early on the pandemic. Now they're like $4. It's if I'm gonna buy into a growth stock, it's gonna be cheap because for me now, if I'm buying a growth stock, I'm buying a lot of shares. I can't just buy 20, 50 here now. If I want to buy a growth stock, I'm gonna spend at least 500 to 1,000, and that's
Okay.
how I do it. So, but right now, no, I need to make more capital. I need to pay down debt. So I'm gonna pay down debt mode. So now I need quick money.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm more of a well. I'm doing a lot of stock options. I ain't gonna lie to you. Um, but I got a lot of shares in a bunch of different sectors. So I'm thinking about trimming down a lot of my stocks. Because I don't know if you follow Market Mondays or Earn Your Leisure. You ever heard of them?
Yeah, Earn Your Leisure.
Market
Yeah,
Monday.
yeah.
The guy Ian, he always say get 2 ETFs and then get 2 tech stocks and just go heavy on those for long-term investments and just do stock options periodically. But yeah. But my thing is, in your personal opinion, since people always talk about long term, save your money. Not save your money. Buy more stock. Even when the stock drops, go buy more stock. So when do you think is in an ideal situation to sell your long term stock?
You asked me that question because there were even I have an accountant. Anybody who takes their money seriously should get an accountant, by the way. So my accountant told me I needed to consolidate. I had too many accounts, and it was too difficult to, in the beginning, add up how much money I actually had out there to actually figure out like my network and stuff like that. So I I had an account that he said, when is a good time to sell off? I think that's a time when you're in a point in your life where you have too many things made out of money, but you have too many accounts out, and you're like, man, I need to move things around. You just have to reevaluate and look at it like, man, what do you need to use it for? What part of your life are you doing at the moment? So, like I said, right now, I'm in a part of my phase where I need to pay down debt, and I had 2 Roth accounts. I didn't need clearly you don't need 2, you don't need 1, and I had one very early on, and I was averaging the Tesla. And over time, I had a pretty decent return. I had made like 4 or 5 grand off of Tesla on that account alone. And I was like, you know what? Consolidating, I don't need this account anymore. So I actually did sell out of that account and those Tesla shares. And I ended up putting that towards a few things like a business startup. And I ended up using that for business expense, paying to buy and stuff like that. So I think appropriate time to sell off is if you're consolidating. And for me, I don't do things about having more than one reason. I would say have 2. Like if you're buying a home, building a business, I'm not gonna say buy a car. I think that's dumb. I love sports cars. People who know me know I'm all about cars, but I'm not about to sell some shares to buy a car. But if it's long term generational wealth building and it has opportunity, I think that'd probably be a decent time. You can sell out.
Right. I agree with that 100%. If you're going to start a business with the money, if you're going to invest in real estate, long-term generational wealth, I agree with that. Or if you even have like a financial emergency, you need money quickly for something, maybe a medical or something like that, or whatever it may be, you can sell your stock. So since we're going into generational wealth, what do you think is the biggest reason people people of color are afraid to get into the stock market? I mean, people are literally afraid to get in the stock market, even if they had penny stocks. Like right now, I'm in a company, the stock, cannabis stock, SDNY is its ticker. They selling their stock for like 70 cents. You know what I'm saying? Like ain't nothing. People are afraid to get into it. Why you think is that?
So we were talking this a little bit off cam. And I know why you. I think personally, it's not a fiscal. We don't have money or the time or even like the lack of education. I feel like in this day and age, it really isn't a real reason because you can get educated now. There's so many free ways to get it done and get a little comfortable. I think it's the mentality, man. It's mental. I think we have an ingrained generational. For one, it's not taught. It's not passed down. Well, your grandma's not talking about it. I know my little
at all
talking about it. Your dad, your mom. So then that's one thing. Also, for 2 of the people you did hear about talking about it, I don't want to say typical, or probably were more well-off Caucasians that you might have known from the neighborhood or from school or something around that nature, right? So that wasn't the cool thing when you're black. You know, it wasn't like, hey, I know I got McDonald's stock that was going on. So now, I got these new Air Force Ones, new dope. You know, it was like priorities were different depending on what neighborhood you grew up in, etc. So I think that was a stigma that took forever. Like science becoming smart just became cool in your black community. Let's be real. Like you know, so that took a whole decade, 2 decades, you know. Early, you know, 2000s, you know, which again in 2010, where it's kind of accepted to be STEM programs, all that kind of thing. Like this stuff's kind of, you know, just now really becoming normalized for us in our community. So, yeah, I would say it's the mentality behind money. We're very much taught to work hard. We work hard, but we do anything and everything, and we work so hard that we're not taught to value our time over the dollar. And that's what actually was for me. It was when I started making 60 grand a year, 70 grand a year. I realized like it wasn't about how much money I made. It's about how much time I'm losing, how much time I'm putting into this, and how much time how much do you think you're worth? And then it came down to knowing your self worth, you know, stuff like that.
I agree 100%. Like that's one of the biggest headaches I have. I try to explain to family members, friends. I'll be like, yo, y'all need to get on the stock market. Yo, y'all need to get on this real estate. Because like people don't realize, besides money, the only thing you probably pass on besides wisdom, money is stocks or real estate and land. You know what I'm saying? Like that's only one of the few things. Maybe metal or something like that. But those two things right there, stock and real estate, can set up generational wealth. My biggest headache when I'm trying to talk to people is, how do I get started? Or where do I go? And I'm like, you ever heard of YouTube? Like you, like they got so many.
Don't trust it, man. A lot of people don't.
And that's another thing. Like it amazes me that people don't want to spend. Like people will spend a few hundred, maybe a few thousand on like Louis Vuitton or some Gucci or something like that, or drop all this money on a brand new car.
Bar in New Orleans, down we know how this,
right? But won't spend a few hundred on a course that might teach you how to make thousands or more later. You know what I'm saying? Like it blows my mind. And also, I think a lot of people don't realize that when you spend money on training, it's actually a tax write-off.
So I agree. That's the business side, tax write-off. But not only that, in our community, I think I would say the women are probably catch on, but invest in yourself and like you're saying, courses. I know personally, I have a trading course, I have an Amazon course, I have a YouTube course, and I will eventually buy a brokerage course for property. Like I don't just do things on a whim. I do make sure I try to attempt to learn it before I go throw money at it. You know, a lot of money. Like you got to be educated in the things you do. You got to, I don't know. I feel like you got to do it with an intent. You don't just do it for no reason. If you don't do it for no reason, why are you doing it? So yeah,
exactly,
man. Invest money in yourself. It's worth it for sure.
Right. If people think we're lying about investing in yourself, that's one of the top comments that Warren Buffett always says. First thing you should do is always invest in yourself first. So always remember that. Yeah. So are there any other organizations that you participate that gives back to the community or anything like that?
So when I first started kicking around for a little bit, I used to do a little bit of money and just hang out and do support the water conglomerate. So it's like green infrastructure, things like that down here locally. Now, since COVID, so I have like access to beef every now and then, or a lot often. So I got a few friends, you know, like everybody's struggling work-wise, and I help them out with food and stuff. So I always bring down extra food, help them out locally, and then I don't know, help out my neighbors, stuff like that. People always ask for help for trading or just how, like I said, how to make an account. Some of my neighbors just couldn't figure out how to go vote, or if they were registered, help them out. Like anything, little stuff like that, man. Anytime I'm out and about, talking around the bars and stuff, I'm always giving out free advice, helping people open brokerage accounts, telling people, you know, you can give your money here, this and that. Just, you know, I'm always a transparency, open book advice and giving out. That's what I do usually.
Right. I agree with that. All right. So, what are your, I guess, if you were somebody new trying to come into the market, what either stock or what sector would you tell them to invest in first?
Invest in what you know. That's what I started. That's what I was taught. Honestly, that's the best way, because you have to be interested. You know, no one's going to do anything they're not into, man. That's just life. So I would say invest in what you know. If you're interested in the movies, look into like the whole cinema stuff. You know, if you're invested into makeup, look at makeup sector. Like it's literally a sector for everything. Literally everything. Water.
Right. If you like Jordans, go buy the Nike stock.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, I actually have some Nike.
Right. Yeah, I got some Nike shares too, and it's steadily moving up. Like it's crazy. I bought it like
I bought Nike like it's Corona. I bought it low, man. I was getting Nike. Right. Same thing at Carnival low. They're coming back up. I'm excited, bro.
Right. Yeah, just a little for some stock tips for people. Just think about it like this. Like you said earlier, you trading patterns and trends or whatever. Just think about it like this: when you trading stock, you have to think in the long term. So when there's a vaccine about to hit, I think the vaccine start coming out toward the end of this year, beginning of next year.
Already approved emergency testing today.
For who? What company?
No, for Visine and I forgot the second one.
Pfizer.
Pfizer, yeah, but Europe was like good emergency testing. I was like, man, really?
Well, they're delivering them. They're about to give them out.
Yeah, like 24 hours. So I guess the 24-hour mark. Oh yeah, because so I guess tomorrow morning I'll be watching for sure.
Yeah, because the UK ordered, I forgot how many, like a few million from Pfizer. They reported that yesterday, but they stock didn't go up dramatically like I thought it would.
But, I mean, they already got their stuff, man. They've been. I mean, I think now it's public. I think the next jump will be the public actually accepts it as a vaccine. But I don't know anybody that's eager.
Yeah,
eager about the words there.
Yo, all I think about is movies like The Walking Dead, that Will Smith movie. What's that movie Will Smith?
I Am Legend.
I Am Legend. Yeah, because it's the exact same situation. Like people dying. You know what I'm saying? People going. I mean. Anyway, I'll wait a year if I can.
You have a choice to wait a year, actually, based on how distribution.
Right. All right. Cool, man. All right, man. Well, tell the people what's your social media handles where they can follow you at.
So what? I'm Marcus Lanier Rosser on Facebook. That's ROSSER. I'm Mr. Rosser on Instagram. Mr. Rosser on YouTube. And anywhere you see Mr. Rosser, that's pretty much me, man. All
right. And you post. I watch your Instagram. You post daily. Your stock.
Yeah. So usually I'll be slipping sometimes, but yeah. So I'm supposed to post 3 times a day. I'm supposed to post in the morning, real quick. I try and do like my little price of the minutes when I get into. If I am still holding something around the lunchtime, dead time, I try and post what's going on. Just update what we have going on. If people are following. And then I also try and post at the end of the day just the results. If we did any profits, sell off, or just if we're still holding, what we're holding on, what we're waiting on. If we're negative, I even post the negative because we're learning patience.
Okay. In the stock group again, do you all agree on it collectively and y'all go all in together, or y'all do things on your own sometimes?
So between the two groups, True Trading Group, and then like the own group, I have my friends in general. True Trading Group. I think I tend to follow them and use them the most out of my own personal group, since like my friend has his own algorithm. He likes to trade off of like the best way earning dates. There we go. Earning dates and momentum. He loves earning dates and he likes to move money around there. I think it's a little risky, but he's got a decent algorithm. We know how to read the charts, stuff like that. So we do talk about it, we collaborate, but yeah, we share everything, pretty transparent. But it really just comes down to budget. He tends to trade a little higher. He's trading like Amazon and stuff like that. And he's spending like 20 grand.
Oh yeah, he's spending money. Yeah, he's spending real money.
Yeah, we're kind of in different financial lanes. So I mean, if you only got $100, $200, we can kick it. That's where I like to be comfortable.
Okay. I got a couple more questions for you. So, do you are you good at reading the charts and stuff like that? Because I'm just starting to learn it, and it's like kind of frustrating.
Charts, man. Some people don't use charts. Honestly, it was crazy. One of the guys I do follow, his name is Wolf. He doesn't use charts, which is why he's pattern trainer. I like charts because I don't know how you're gonna do it. How you can have price targets without looking at the chart. To me, I think charts are required. I use charts because I need data for me to even feel comfortable putting money on anything. So I do. I'm a chart man. I don't know if I'm the best at reading charts. I haven't got to the point where I'm making bars on it. I'm editing it, and I'm guessing I'm not at that level, but I am to the point where at least I can read a chart. And I see the bar. I understand the ribbons. I understand the why it's red and green, the closing, the opening, highs and lows. Like no, at least I understand why. I can see the momentum, so I'm not ignorant to it. I like charts honestly because it gives you kind of peace of mind. I don't do a real time chart. It's kind of a lot. I do a minute to 5 minute chart. I think that's good enough. If you're really serious swing trades, maybe you can do a minute chart, but that's so much movement, and you might get false alarms based on however your strategy is on trading. And so, yeah.
Okay. All right. What is the biggest mistake you made in trading? How did you come back from that?
Oh shoot, we talked about that. That biggest mistake was that Wednesday.
Oh, that Wednesday. Okay, that Wednesday.
Yeah, when I saw that 17 turn to that 19, and I thought I was that man. So that wasn't I should have humbled myself.
Okay. So all right. So we already talked about the worst mistake. So what was the day that you realized you would be a successful trader? Was it like your biggest payday? Or was it you realize that you made multiple trades consistently for weeks?
Yeah, it was a consistency, 100%. Because it didn't really matter how much. Because even when I lost on the money, I was like, all right, all I need to do is make $10 a day. I need to make like $50 a week, and like just you set those small goals. And when you start building them, you start getting your confidence up, and you start getting your self-esteem up, and you start being able to do a little more risk and learn more. And that's what it was. Just if I wasn't, because there really was, man, I had to make a choice. Like, man, I don't have to come out of Robinhood. I want to pay this money back. But I was just like, for one, I was raised to be a soldier first, and man, second, I was like, my mom wasn't raised to be no punk. So I was like, nah, I'm smart. I can do it. I'm pretty sure I can do this. And that's what it was. You just gotta, I don't know. I think you can do it, man. But it really is consistency. You just gotta be able to consistently do it, man. And you're gonna have weeks where they're boring. You're gonna have weeks where it's slow. You might have a week where you just have cash sitting there and you didn't do anything but watch. And you gotta look back and be like, you know what? At least I have a main job and pray and just hopefully you didn't quit your job and so you started making no money. So you know what I mean? Like that's a real thing.
Well, I also tell people it's okay not to trade. You know what I'm saying? I remember. I think after that September day, I think I ain't trade for like 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? I just stepped away and had to take a break. You know what I'm saying?
But I was hurt. Like I've never touched the SPY and Peloton, Lulu since then, and I never looked. I might be scarred for life. I might never touch them ever again. But that did. It hurt, man. I woke up and I was like, man, I'm about to cry. Like, I'm about to tell mom I gotta move back home. I'm real dead right now. I'm about to be in trouble. Like I was worried for real. But,
right. That's what one of the groups I'm in, they always tell me always logic over emotion. I had them on a podcast earlier. Logic over emotion, always take profits. They always preach that. So take profits.
So learn that the hard way. Learn that.
Yeah, I know.
Take profits up, take profits down. We doing puts. I mean, just even if it's 3 cents and you only have 7 contracts or 7 shares, sell 2. You do take something because it still averages in your general gain. So I've learned that the same way. And then even smart ways, which I've started doing now, which I'm really happy about. If you're taking profit all the way up, say by lunchtime it dips 10 cents. You can buy them half that profit. You're still making money, and on the upcome, which is going to happen because you're going to hit power hour around 12:30, 1 o'clock. You're going to gain that 10 to 12 cents a gain anyway. You're making double. You're doubling your money. Your money's working for you now.
I'm glad you said it. Let's talk about the importance of the timing in the market with the morning bell, lunchtime, and power hour. We'll talk about that.
Be at that desk morning. There's no ifs, ands. Like, when your mama told you you're being inside the hospital, street lights turn on, you about to get it? That's the market, bro. You can go ahead and treat it the same way. Straight up.
So do you analyze your picks from the pre-market? Do you look at the pre-market?
When I first started, so like you said, we all really much started going hard in March, right? When I first started, me and my group and the other group, man, it was every night for 2 hours. We're going through algorithm. We're going through 20, 30 companies. We're amateurs thinking like this is like how you're supposed to do it.
Right.
Realistically, man, when the market hits, when you're an amateur, dude, you have time to follow one symbol. Things are going too fast. You don't have the monitor. When you just started, you probably got a laptop. You're on your phone. If you're on your phone, you can't even keep up to people on laptop. Period. They got macros. You can't keep up. There's no way you're gonna hit the same price target. Stop it. Don't even fool yourself. It's like don't even try. Until you get good, until you get at 25,000, you get a home, you can get a real setup, get the monitors. Don't even. It's a whole. They're playing a whole other game, straight up. So it's true. You laughing, man? Like, you come out lying. Like I was like, man, when these people talk about doing swing trades, it's programmed in. Like when people get their escape key bound to an option, like 1, 2, like it's not a game to them. But that's required if you're really gonna do it for take it seriously though. So again, that's a whole nother level. We're not there yet.
All right. All right, man. Well, thanks for coming on the show. I'm going to get you back on here maybe in a couple of weeks. Maybe we can go through some, actually see you analyze some stock trades. So people know when is a good time to enter a trade or when to exit a trade. Because that's what I usually struggle with myself.
Yeah.
Oh, camera went out. Hold on. Oh. Hold on. Ain't that something?
It happens sometimes, man. A little bit.
Hold on. I'm still here, y'all. Hold on. Can y'all see me now?
I can see you.
All right. Hold on. All right, there we go. All right. So maybe I'll bring you back on the show. We can do actually maybe some live trades or something like that. Maybe like during lunchtime or something. But thank you for coming on the show, man. I appreciate it. I learned a lot. I had fun. Let the people know your social media handles one more time again, even though I got
Sure. Mr. Ross on Instagram, Mr. Rosser ROSSER, Mr. Rosser on Instagram, Marcus L. Rosser on Facebook, and then for you people who play video games, we got Cuban Gaming Classy as well. We got that on like Twitch, Facebook, YouTube as well.
All right, y'all. Remember, make sure you hit follow, share, like, comment on it. Make sure you subscribe. Thank you for tuning in. See you next week. We got another episode. Make sure you tune in on YouTube, Periscope, Twitter, Facebook pages. We in, we out. Thank Mr. Mosier for coming on the show. Maybe hit you all with some stock tips next time you're on the show. Good night, y'all. Thank y'all.